Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. We are here again with Perp. Why don't you say hi, Perp?
Howdy, howdy.
And Holly. Why don't you say hi, Holly?
Hey there.
And me. Why don't you say hi, me? Hello.
Oh no, the voices are back.
The voices. We also have Valor, its dog, here today, being a sweetheart. So if you hear any whining or other dog noises, that's him. He's chilling. Yeah, welcome. As you can see, we're working again on Mother Tree art today. And Perp, why don't you walk us through what today's aspect of what you're working on is?
She's a big old tree, and she's got lots of time to her. We're gonna try to clean up both versions of it.
Gotcha. Excellent.
Hopefully,
Thank you so
get
much.
this image done by tonight.
All right,
Though
sweet.
I say that, you shall. Now I'm the one that has to do the call prerequisite.
Well, we will stick by you, of course, every step of the way. If you have any more questions about lore or anything, of course, feel free to ask.
So hey, Mir,
Yeah.
how about you tell folks what we're listening to today?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've already said it in the chat itself, but our friends over at Unmasked Games, previously Team Kanohi, they released a bunch of their music for their project. It's called Scrap Metal. Well, their project is called Rustbound, but the album is called Scrap Metal. And it's available to listen to on YouTube, and it's available for a measly $1 over on Bandcamp. So go give it some love. And we hope that you enjoy it as much as we have, because it's not only refreshing to have non-colony music to listen to during the stream, but it's also excellent music. So yeah. Also, just go and give Unmasked Games some love. They've been going through it, and they're gearing up to start working on some cool new IP material for their game, and I'm hyped. I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah, I think they have big things ahead of them.
Big things. Unfathomably huge things. We also have some big things coming up here soon. Can't talk about all of it on stream, but it's a lot of cool stuff in the works right now.
Yeah. I do think we're planning on revealing a little bit more in the monthly post that should be coming out in a few days, so stay tuned.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully a fair deal of some cool BTS photos as well. So, Cheese did ask a question in chat earlier, and the answer what would be a major landmark in the setting? Well, it depends on the exact area in question in the setting. There's a lot. Like the first and most major landmark would probably be the Mother Tree. But the Mother Tree has kind of been lost to time in contemporary storytelling of in the setting. In Taman, where our like first major like expansion is going to be running out of, there's like mountains very very specifically like shaped mountains, and they call them the domed peaks. There's also particular rivers that cut through that would be major landmarks, and for some folks, like the Fora who worship Ngao, they would perhaps even attempt to use some of the river currents and streams to transport goods, depending on where they were transporting them to. Obviously, they can't do too sophisticated of navigation down those kinds of riverways, but they can do some kind of barge work to some degree. But it's not very extensive, not very. It's how do I put it cohesively? The degree to which their water navigation technology, like their boats and barges and stuff, that particular technology is very very rudimentary, and they don't have great ways to steer. They don't have great ways of ensuring that their buoyancy, like their watercraft, stay correctly oriented against particularly difficult currents. So they have to be very selective of where and when they use that kind of technology.
They have the tech, but very rudimentary because they don't focus on doing that.
But every time they do use barges like that, they offer up prayers and offerings to Ngao. So, as for other landmarks, there's the swamp, which is the name of it is escaping me off the top of my head, but the swamp is a fairly well-known area that it's in some ways is like what's it called, Mirkwood, where there's an almost hallucinogenic aspect to its presence and to being inside of the swamp itself. For other major landmarks, I mean, there's of course Arica Melvara, which is the citadel of the Malif, which is a standing of trees that is it's been like almost all of the trunks of these trees have been engulfed in hives, so. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of there are many aspects of Taman that are of note, and I don't want to get into too many of them here, but yeah, it's because I want to save some as a surprise. I mean, one that I've talked about in lore shorts before is like the glass desert. Kitinep is our current name for it, which translates to like the crystal plains, and Kitinep is a very dangerous place to be. So there's a handful more that I could get into, but save them for a later date. Excuse me. So I am curious, Perp, about the coloration of the river in this coloration, are you planning on adjusting it to the golden color, or are you making it more accurate to how sap really looks when it's coming out of trees?
I see this more as like a dirt path that then the sap that does come from the mother tree would then travel down.
Oh, like so it's just like a ravine that informs the direction of flow and such.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I like that. That's cool. Oh, Holly has just informed me that the swamp is called Lama Niami, which translates roughly to the forbidden or the forsaken marsh. So, there you go. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah, no problem. Took me a few minutes to find the document where we had the location names.
Yeah. It's very spread out right now.
Mhm.
We should see if the guys working on the music for Unmasked Games want to do some collaborative work for some Colony soundtrack stuff. If they're not too busy, of course.
Yeah. I'm wary of taking too much of their time up at it's such a pivotal moment in development.
Yeah.
They're starting on a brand new IP, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm super excited to see what their new IP is about. Like, obviously, it's going to be like robots in paradise themed. They've already kind of confirmed that, but I'm so curious how they're going to translate so many of those mechanics over into something fresh. Because those guys are so creative. They're like extremely talented at what they do, and it's going to be excellent. I cannot wait.
Yeah. But we gotta give them their time because they're also a small team.
They are small, just only a little larger than our team, I think, and we are also a very small team. So,
And they're embarking on something that I think is quite ambitious.
oh yeah, the level of detail and the level of professional grade work that they accomplished on the Masks of Power demo definitely, like, it shows that they've got the chops to do something incredible, and now that they can set up a Patreon to actually get themselves paid as they're going through this process, it's only gonna be better for the project's health overall. And yeah, like I said, I cannot wait to see where they go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did have a question, Perp. So you have this river of sap. Are you planning on creating a map of it to place into the vibrant green version? Or are you gonna make a Oh, I see. Okay. I'll just be patient with the process.
See with your eyes, not with your hands.
Look! Read! may look Vakama, but don't touch. The coloration on this is already just... Oh, it's gorgeous. And the composition is magnifique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, suppose I should say, if you would like to join us, our community, we have a Discord that you are more than welcome to join. We have a few questions that you got to answer before you get full access to the server, but you can go ahead and join our Discord community at the link provided in the comments. And you can come and hang out with us while we do other kinds of streams directly to our community. That includes a lot of BTS stuff on all the projects that we're working on. And yeah, come say hi, come hang out. How often do you think land disputes happen? Prior to the time where there's an era of war that occurs, and in that time, land disputes are an ever-present thing. There is some new battle, new war happening every single day. Just non-stop, all over the place. It's a very, very common thing. After the era of war, when all of the different nations came to treaties and tried to work with each other, very different story. There were many laws put in place after that period of time that kind of it established a more judicial and a system of settling disputes in a more diplomatic manner, instead of just often and usually reverting specifically to war. think a large portion of that also had to do with be in those treaties. Many of the ways in which they kind of ensure peace is through trade relations. So, but in war, you can take more than just territory you were arguing over. Certainly, and I mean that was a common excuse to do that. If you had a rather ambitious queen who wanted to expand her domain, that was a common way to do that. It was just to declare war on the people who had resources that queen wanted for her people. But like I was saying, in the case of these treaties, many of them were more geared toward keeping war as a very last resort to any kind of dispute, through trade, like healthy trade regulations and sorry, what was that?
Healthy trade relations.
Yeah, healthy trade relations and regulations on how one can equivocably barter specific trade materials, and so by ensuring that everybody was getting what they needed, the treaties were able to be more effective because of that. But that doesn't always, negate the interpersonal conflicts that always occur. And in those cases, like I was saying, there were laws put in place to create more judicial systems whereby those kinds of disputes can be handled in a diplomatic way. God, those hints of pink are so freaking good, dude.
Tasteful.
Yeah. Remember in when we were working on the other Mother Tree piece you made with the Soda Sol, and the fruits were all sorts of different colors and they were glowing. Getting a lot of cool vibes like that off of it. Love it. Oh my gosh, and that brush is just making everything all floofy.
Mm.
Oh. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome. Good to see you here.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Much healthier environment over here than over there.
Familiar faces in chat.
Yeah, Liam and Swirt popping in to hang out. Yeah. Always appreciative of your boys' support. Thank you much. Just chill vibes right now. Perp in a good flow. Oh, nice! Heck yeah.
Ah.
I do love myself some 8-10 cards. Very, very cool. Oh, hey, Pack. How's it going? Thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for hanging out.
Take a deep breath and relax. It's all chill.
Super chill. Listening to scrap metal. I asked Gort last night if I could stream it for today's stream, and they said go for it. So yeah, always happy to free advertise for our friends, of course. Not to mention, it's just I listened to it twice last night after it dropped, and I fell asleep listening to it. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh no, I totally get it.
Got you. I have every couple of days returned to the demo just because I just appreciate the artistry of it all, the absolute dedication to making something as fine-tuned and incredibly like professional to an ungodly degree even. Fan projects should take note of that kind of quality, and if they're capable of doing so, should try and strive for that as well. Not every fan project needs to be that, of course, but if you're able to do so, and you care enough about something like that, put your heart into it. It shows it's like I said earlier, their talent is just immeasurable, and whatever they do next with Rustbound, I know is going to slap so hard. Oh no! We're chopping off her head!
But if you close your eyes...
I don't know if this particular song was meant to be like... It's called, this one is called Dust of a Prophecy, and I don't know if this was meant to be like a Powahi song, but man, it's got good vibes. This is probably the one that's stuck out to me the most off of the album so far. Oh, so while I've got Swert and Liam here, I was telling Holly about this a little earlier. When we're wrapped up on the stream, I'm going to take like a little bit of a break, but then I'm going to be working on other Colony stuff, and I'm probably going to hang out in the Beyond Bionicle server if you guys wanted to join. Since you guys are working on other 810 stuff, figured you would like the body doubling. Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. I'll shoot you guys some DMs when I'm about to hop in there. And it might be a while because I know that Perp wants to wrap this one up today, and I'm not, absolutely no rush on Perp, of course. There's no reason to rush.
Right.
This is interesting. What are you doing here, Perp?
Parallaxing.
Oh, very cool. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the original was done on one thing, and that's probably not the best for doing the effects.
Right.
Perspective.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I'm glad I'm a curious guy, because I'm sure some of our watchers are just as clueless as I am about some parts of the process. So. I'm always happy to ask questions. Reminds you of Megatron? Alright. Elaborate, Pack. What do you mean by that? Chat, what did he mean by that? Oh, I see. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Dynamic Crossroads. Okay. Reminds you of Megatron. That could have gone 1,000 different ways.
Yeah, it's like green and vaguely purples-ish. That's like one of the Megatrons at the very least.
Yes, it's one of the 200 different styles of Megatron now. for all the love I have for Bionicle, it's astounding I never really got into Transformers. This wasn't on my radar. That would be cool. Yeah. Would also love to see that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's the battle theme. Let's go. I know that the plan was that there were going to be basically like puzzle dungeons of a sort in the game that every Toa was gonna have to go through. And I was very excited to see how they were going to like use elemental mechanics and mask mechanics to develop those puzzle dungeons, but guess we'll never know. We're gonna see what it's gonna be like contextualized in Rustbound now. I think that was one of my... not to shift over to Star Wars for very long, but Jedi Fallen Order had very Zelda-like puzzle dungeons that use Force mechanics that teach you how to use the new Force abilities that you collect. And I loved that about that game. I thought that was astoundingly cool. And I was sad that we didn't get a whole lot more of that in the sequel, in Jedi Survivor. And I guess I wouldn't really know exactly how they would have gone about doing it, since he had already gotten all of his fundamental Force powers back by the end of the first game, and it's not like a Metroid game where he loses all of his powers right at the start. But I thought it was definitely something that I personally missed, just because of how much I like that style of puzzle dungeon. So that's definitely something that I'm excited to see in Rustbound. And if ever we get the chance to make a Colony video game, it would definitely be something that I'd want to incorporate in there as well. Since we have some more viewers in the chat now, I'll relink the where you can listen to the scrap metal soundtrack right now. One second, let me get those links copied into the chat for you. If you'd like to purchase it, it is $1 single over at Bandcamp, or you can stream it for free over on YouTube.
Thanks again to Unmasked Games for letting us use this today. It's very kind of them.
Yes, and I will probably occasionally ask them if I can use it again in the future, because sometimes, and it's not that I don't like our Colony soundtrack. I mean, I wrote a lot of it, but week after week, gets a little tiring. There's a, if you guys are looking for more music that's very similar to Colony music as well, there's a couple of guys that I listen to on like Spotify and stuff like that. One of their names is Starhopper. Makes very esoteric, ethereal kind of music, and would highly recommend a lot of their stuff. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, a huge... We have a whole playlist on Spotify that we've shared before. That is it's all music that inspired Colony as we were going through developing not just the world, but also the musical aesthetic that we were trying to establish for our soundtrack. And I'll probably link that somewhere, maybe in the community server at some point. We'll give a shout out to that playlist again, because it's a good playlist. And there's a lot of Hans Zimmer in that, of course. Some trivia for those of you who don't know. The track on the Colony soundtrack that's called the Desert Road, I wrote that piece back in 2015, December of 2015. I was going through my third read-through of Dune, and I was inspired by a lot of the content when Paul and Jessica are crossing the desert, and that's how that track came about. It was originally titled Arrakis, so there you go. That so the way that Hans Zimmer scored Dune was very different from how I would have done it, but I think he did it in a much more cohesive way than I could have ever done it. But it's very heavily inspired, along with all of his other incredible work, very heavily inspired how we wrote the Colony soundtrack. I'm a big fan of that, like, in-universe diegetic soundtrack that's very alien and very rooted in the instruments that could exist within the world, and he does loads of that kind of work. And so yeah, excellent way of writing music. Oh, hey, Caleb, welcome. Didn't see you pop in for a second. I was too busy sitting in another channel. Yeah, true. Too busy being a music geek. Accurate. another guy who I take a lot of inspiration from that does a lot of that same kind of diegetic musical work is Daniel Pemberton, I think is his name. Did the soundtrack for Arthur Legend of the Sword, did the soundtrack for the Dark Crystal Netflix series. Underrated movie, yeah. Arthur Legend of the Sword is a really, it's super inaccurate to the traditional Arthurian legends, but it's a really cool movie. It's a very interesting retelling and reimagining of all of those storytelling tropes, and very, very, like, yeah. Can't say much else aside from it's just a really cool movie. Y'all should go watch it. But Daniel Pemberton also is responsible for the music in the Spider-Verse series, and you know, also incredible and amazing work. So
Yeah, that's why his name sounds familiar to them.
yeah. Let's see. Off the top of my dome, other inspiration was the Halo soundtrack, of course. A lot of vocalizations and like that very tribal drum beat aesthetic, like soundscape kind of a thing. And then also just kind of like, I think the other like key feature of Colony is just like trying to make these sounds feel very large and overscaled in comparison to the listener, trying to make the listener feel small through the music, through the feelings that the music gives you. And that's why there's so much reverb in that, is because I wanted it to feel like there was like shaking and reverberation in the track itself. Like if you were listening on powerful speakers, just it would make it send waves through you as if you were an ant underground feeling the vibrations of the earth. And I wanted a lot of that kind of aesthetic, and a lot of open echoey chambers where the sounds would reverberate a lot off of each other, and just trying to create this atmosphere of like I said before, just trying to make the listener feel small in comparison to the sounds that they're experiencing. Also, yeah, if you want to listen to Colony-like music, go on the Bionicle Flash game on the Wayback Machine. Yeah, the Matanui Online game definitely has some big vibes like that. Dude, Perp, this is so sick to look at, dude.
It is.
I love that the way that this is framed right now makes it look like the leaves of the mother tree. It almost makes it look like clouds. Liam says, "This is looking so good, Perp."
Ooh, bringing some definition into the branches. Very good.
Mm-hmm. So, Perp, I had a question. Is the Amber River also like its own layer?
At the moment, no. This one is a lot of correction layer stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just curious because this the Amber River is definitely with the ravine that you have in the full color one, I'm trying to think of how we're going to like get the river to flow using using that image to have it wind down. Because that would be a cool effect that we could add into the video of like the layer revealing itself as it winds down the river. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, okay. So like with this shot of the full color mother tree being basically the opener, and then the first one of the first lines in the text being she made in herself a wound from which she bled her sap, and out of the sap came her children. 10 of them were they in number, queens and kings of 5 kinds. And so like having that full color, and then at that line, she made in herself a wound from which she bled her sap, and then using a layer to like in Blender to have it slowly unveil the sap river as it flows out of her down toward the perspective.
Probably the easiest way to do that would just be to have a couple of different layers with transition points. So, one that has the sap a third of the way down, one 2/3, one full.
Yeah.
So there would be a sap pass on this version?
Yes. This is the version that the Sakuda would be crawling out of the sap on. This one also having the Sakuda is also useful though, because we can show them being gathered together as she's telling them that they have to leave. So
yeah.
Okay. Let me grab some water. 1 sec.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, Valor. For those of you who do not know, I'm dog sitting for a friend of mine, and he is unfathomably lonely, just so lonely. You want your collar off? You wanna lie down? You wanna get cozy? You can hop up. Big stretch, bud. Good boy. Yeah. Dude, your neck's thick. Your neck is so thick, dude. You're built. You got muscles. Yoked dog over here, man. Good boy. Good boy. Yes, happy boy. Oh, the second I stop petting you, yeah, okay. Get cozy, dude. returns, hydrated. You know that roaching thing that dogs do, where they'll lie on their back with their paws all stretched out and flaying around. That's what
yeah.
That's what Valor's doing. Desperate for belly rubs.
Good boy.
Just happy little bugs. Oh, to be a ladybug hanging out on a leaf. No concept of time or taxes. Well, I suppose taxes. Taxes are a thing in Colony. They're framed differently, though.
Is that so?
To be an ant, a simple ant, no worry for COVID. All I gotta do is climb up this stem, get really high, doesn't matter what else. Gotta go back, but cannot go, gotta go up, gotta keep going up. And then I sit there, and then I stop thinking.
Amen. That's just what happens when an ant gets infected with cordyceps. Just gotta keep climbing up. Gotta get somewhere where a cow can eat me. No, you cannot have my food. He's eyeing he's eyeing some fries I was having earlier. Too much salt for you. Salt's not great for you, bud. Not in the amounts that I inhale. That's... no. You don't hydrate enough for that. And I know You don't drink a whole lot of water despite it constantly being out for you. Like a gallon of it, too. I don't know what's up with you, dude.
But Mir, you're supposed to inhale air.
No.
Why are you inhaling salt?
I gotta stay angry. Can't stop being salty. Nah, that's not true. Oh, yeah? What?
Oh.
Oh, did I upset you because I stopped giving you lovin's? Okay, go outside then. Go do your thing. He went out into the hallway and is now staring into my room at me. Goofball. Bean. And since it's been a while since we've thrown anything into the chat, why don't I just shill our Patreon? If you guys would like to go and support us over on Patreon, we release a newsletter every month that has behind the scenes on what we're working on, and it helps us pay Perp and Matt, and helps fund other projects like some cool stuff that we're going to be doing next month. So if you stay tuned, lots of cool stuff over the horizon.
And now it's a mustache.
And now the mustache?
And now it's a mustache.
Oh, I see. Opaque. That's my return portal for when I come back from adventuring, because I use the portal spell. For those of you watching this after the stream, I'm talking about a Minecraft server that him and I are in.
VOD Squad, rise up.
VOD Squad, rise up. Leave a comment if you're watching this in the VOD. What portal? Well, I'm not using it currently because it changes every time I come back because I'm using it as a. I'm coming back using recall, and then I go back through that portal into the back to the place where I was, and then I break that portal frame, and then the portal disconnects again. All I'm saying is don't touch it. You can look Vakama, but don't touch. You should do that too. Yeah, I mean that's the way that I've been going back and forth out from base out to where I left off adventuring. That's how Prone taught me how to do it. So because we don't have home and back, it's a little bit roundabout of a solution, but it works. Oh, hello that one, kid. Welcome to chat. How you doing? Didn't see you come in. Ah, gotcha. Well, welcome. Perp's making some amazing progress on the Mother Tree piece. If you'd like to join in and watch. We're just chilling out. The YouTube audience can hear the music going on in the background. We're listening to some music from our friends over at Unmasked Games, so it's very chill. Messed up. Pygmy mole crickets are unable to fly. Interesting. Okay. Unsure if any insect group can then burrow, fly, and swim. Interesting. It's a good point. Yeah, I am unaware of any insect group that can do all three of those. And swimming, I mean, many species can skim across the surface tension of water, but swimming specifically is a very, very niche thing that not a whole load of insect species can do. And it's a very interesting thing to think about that as well, because like when you think about it, insects are just land crustaceans, and the crustaceans can do it just fine. So all of the swimming insects, all of the like water beetles and stuff like that, all of them are just, it's basically their return to monkey, return to crab. Albeit they can't breathe. They don't have gills the way that crustaceans do. So they gotta take air pockets down with them. But still, crustaceans can't fly though. Insects definitely have a leg up on crustaceans because of that. Can you imagine if a lobster just popped out of a river and was just like, you know what? I'm tired of this land thing. I'm tired of this swimming thing. I'm gonna just do my own thing. And they just rapidly evolved a pair of elytra and just took off. Colony to Electric Boogaloo. Yep. Well,
it was a weird episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs did the Foxy FNAF 2 jump scare.
Man, you're talking about FNAF and Jade isn't even here. What are we doing, man? It's been I've already talked about this a handful of times now, Swirt, but there was at one point going to be an expansion for Colony that was going to be called Children of the Salt, that was going to be about crustaceans, but long abandoned the idea. No desire to revisit it. I have all of the commentary and the themes that I was going to play around with are, I have better ideas on how to approach storytelling elements for it in different world building projects anyway, so it's not much of a loss. Would have been a cool aesthetic to explore though. Although, honestly, that's kind of just One Crab's Trash or whatever that one game was. That Souls like that Jack was playing, Holly.
Treasure.
One Crab's Treasure, that's it, yeah. That's close enough to the Children of the Salt expansion idea that I feel like I don't even need to get into it anymore. Five Nights at the Mother Tree. Mr. Krabs as Sephiroth, one-winged crab. Can't believe Mr. Krabs burned down Bikini Bottom and killed Sandy Cheeks in cold blood. Children of Time reference? No, I haven't read Children of Time, so I don't know anything about it. Children of the Salt, so like the names of the word Sakuta derived out of their language translates to the children of the sap, which is reference to the fact that the mother tree created them by bleeding sap out of her trunk, and then from the sap the Sakuta climbed out of it. And then the children of the Amber are creations of Zek. And those are like the monster species. And their in-universe name is the Ulukuta, the children of the Amber. I probably have some audiobook credits that I can use for for Children of Time, but I've got such a long list of stuff to read slash listen to right now. It's gonna be a while before I can get to Children of Time. I got a lot of Brandon Sanderson to catch up on. Let's see. So I have the, shoot, hold on. Let me just pull up, my Audible account. I'm in the middle of iRobot right now. And then I'm going through the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. I've already finished his... Oh, Valor, shush. I've already finished the first 3 books of Mistborn, and I know that there's, like, another trilogy after that that's like a Wild West setting. Well, a Wild West subsetting. I have the Inheritance Cycle on my list that I just got all 4 books for because I had a lot of credits stashed up. What else? Been meaning to go through 3 Body Problem, which I also have. Also Neuromancer, which is, you know, classic cyberpunk kind of stuff.
Actually,
I got a lot of... Oh, what was that?
Remind me, did you have any interest in reading more of just the Dune cycle, I suppose?
Oh, the Dune books?
Yeah.
I mean, I've... It's been a while since I've gone through them, but I left off on Children of Dune. I have not read past that.
Okay.
All of the information that I know about the expanded universe of Dune that his son wrote is all just through hearsay and like listening to YouTubers talk about like the timelines of events and things like that. I've heard that, you know, you shouldn't always listen to this kind of advice, but I heard that the books after Children of Dune there's much to be desired for them. So
Yeah,
kind of...
I actually just read Hunters of Dune, like, was that just earlier this month? Time is an illusion. Anyway, but yeah, it left a lot to be desired. I would say probably only pick up the expanded universe stuff if you're really curious about where the story is going, and even then it's kind of one of those situations where we don't really know entirely how closely they may have adhered to the drafts that existed.
I see. Yeah, I know that
there's, without getting into any spoilers, in case
Sure.
anyone here cares, it seems like there may have been some plot elements that were inserted to follow up on expanded universe books that had been written between Frank Herbert's death and the point when Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson took over. There are some things that kind of suddenly become relevant without really having any previous place in the story.
I see. I think that one of the elements that I like about Dune as a universe is that the way that Frank Herbert handled his storytelling was he wanted to kind of like refrain from getting into a lot of the deeper aspects of the universe, like really getting the scope down in on them, because the aspects that were important he just had to reference and explain just enough of it to justify explaining what was prevalent to the story he was trying to tell. And it made, he had it concrete enough in his compendiums for his purposes of storytelling that you didn't really need to expand on a lot of that stuff. And it feels like that's really, it seems to me, of course not having read it, but it seems to me that that was more of the focal point to the expanded works that Brian ended up doing, was that he was putting more of a focus on expanding on all of those references that Frank was making in his storytelling. And a lot of those aspects end up feeling more clinical, I guess, is a way of saying that.
Yeah, I haven't actually read like the expanded material. I'm just going through the mainline books.
Right. No, I got you. I know that as far as the content referring to the Butlerian Jihad and the way that it was expanded on in those books, I know that apparently it's very dry, but I don't, again, I don't know that for myself. I'm working off of speculation of people who have read it. But especially with the Butlerian Jihad, like, I guess I was unimpressed with the way that Dune Prophecy handled a lot of the aspects of the machines, and that was very much so to the extent that I only watched the first couple of episodes because I felt like it didn't make a lot of sense thematically with a lot of the other Dune material that's been released lately.
Yeah, I haven't watched Prophecy either, but that seems to be a pretty common reaction. Just, I've talked to other people who have watched it. They also just got through a few episodes and then stopped.
Yeah, just
on screen. Cannot say that for YouTube.
Yep,
yes.
And that's as far as we're gonna go, folks. Let's get back to Colony. We've got a question in the Discord chat.
Yeah. Do termite folk reproduce, or does a queen make all the babies? A queen makes all the babies. All of the normal biological functions within their society that you would expect out of their real world counterparts are largely present in the interpretations within Colony. So if they reproduce one queen or many, so that is one concession that we have made, where a queen will have princesses and the princesses will also have children. Within Fora and Terra traditions, the children of princesses are claimed by the ruling queen. And there are termite kings, yes. Terra society is much more egalitarian than Fora and Apoi society, and males, not exactly men, but males have a more prevalent existence even within working roles in termite colonies in comparison to Fora colonies and Apoi colonies. So the Terra, the king is regarded as a role, and then as an official ruling role who rules alongside with the queen, whereas with the Fora and the Apoi, the Fora are their males are after they're regarded as princes until they've fulfilled a mating role, and when they've lost their wings, they become stewards over specific areas of governance, such as a steward over agriculture or trade or something along those lines. Whereas in Apoi society, males are dedicated to the Queen's Guard, and the Queen's Guard defend the Queen until their death, or until they have mated successfully with the Queen, and then they are either put to death or the mating itself kills them, depending on which tribes they hail from. In one of the art pieces with the bee folk, you really gotta just hide a tiny little Barry Benson in there somewhere. It's bound to happen eventually, and it'll probably slip past me. I neither condone nor condemn the act. It's just bound to happen.
You see, what we do is we, whenever we get into the music, we showcase in an Apoy Jazz Club.
They do have Basin Bass, which is a large, hollowed out, basin-shaped, like, bark structure that they have coated in a hardened wax, so that way it has a nice resonance to it. And they have a number of large, thick-gauge strings that stretch from top to bottom on it, and a number of Apoy will use clamps to hold down certain sections of the strings, while at the bottom they have a number of Apoy that are either buzzing their wings against the strings or collectively using their strength to pluck the strings. So they could absolutely have jazz clubs. Bob and Alistair. There's a jazz club, you have to reference Bob and Alistair. I'm unfamiliar with the reference, unfortunately. Oh, I see. Gotcha. It's their equivalent to cattle in Colony. Yes. So the four lean are domesticators. They are equivalents to Argentine ants, and Argentine ants are notable for having domesticated aphids to a degree, and having a mutually beneficial relationship with them to the degree that the ants will protect the aphids from predators, and in return the ants will siphon the honeydew that the aphids produce through siphoning the nectar off of plants. And in that way, we've kind of equated, so that the Argentine ants we've equated to being kind of like beast masters of a sort. So we've expanded on that idea and made it so that way they also have domesticated beetles for beasts of burden, and many other species, such as fireflies. They use fireflies as both a meat source, and they use their bioluminescent compounds as they take the two chemical compounds that make the bioluminescence. They'll put it into a sack, and then when they need a quick torch, they just have to dip a stick into the sack to puncture the two organs, and then mix it around a little bit, and when they retract the stick, they have a glowing torch. The beetles, like larger species of beetles, are also used as beasts of, as like, for like jousting, for colo jousting. So. You went to a nearby spiritual crystal store, and when you asked if they had any evil crystals that canceled out the properties of other crystals, they said no. How unfortunate. Man. Swert says, so if I recall correctly, one member of the Bionicle Founders Club, that being Leia Western K, met her future husband at the jazz club the team went to when celebrating the launch of Bionicle, but I would have to rewatch the panel to confirm that story. That's cool. I like that. Uranium gives off all the evil vibes, dude. I cannot condone obtaining any form of uranium that would cancel out the positive effects of other crystals. I didn't think I was gonna say that sentence today, but here we are. Coward. Oh. Valor, are you bored? Is that what's wrong? You're just very bored. I'm sorry, Bubba's. I'm sorry you're bored.
How are you feeling, Perp? We're coming up on that 2-hour mark.
Feeling alright. Kind of reaching my... I'm trying to figure out what to do for the green sections, and I think I need to look at more illustrations of fields and grass on the macro level to really get that vibe good.
Okay. This is looking incredible so far, though. This is amazing. The colors so vibrant. There they are. Just under the surface.
Attaining the shapes of like the bubbles in the sap.
Yeah. It's so subtle, but it works so well. I'm just, oh gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
excited. This is going to be so cool when we get to release this part of the lore. This is like, I've been, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I've been listening to the music as I've been working on other stuff down in the garage for Colony, and that particular musical motif that I put together for it, I've just, every time I listen to it and I see this art piece, I'm just like, this is gonna be tasty cinema that we're about to show off. I'm so excited. Man. Look at that. Bumbus, it's okay. Valor is so bored right now. I've been
Damn.
ignoring him.
Can't believe Artstream didn't click with him. Sorry, I gotta draw a big old tree. Maybe next time it'll be a big old fire hydrant.
See, the biggest problem is that he's colorblind. He can't appreciate the artistry.
Oh, true.
You big dope. Look at you. I start petting your head and everything's better in the world, isn't it? Yeah. Arr. That's what you sound like, dude. Ow, ow, ow. You have sharp claws. I know you're just trying to put your hand on me to give me pets, but your claws are so sharp, dude. Ow.
That sounds like a you problem and not a him problem.
That's an ish you, not an ish me. Dude. Speed.
Speed.
So do you feel like you want to keep going, or should we call it quits for the night?
We could probably call it for the night.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Perp. This is coming along just swimmingly beautiful. It's as amazing as I anticipated that it would be. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight to watch the art stream. Thank you to Unmasked Games for letting us use their music today. Cursed Mother Tree. Evil Mother Tree. But yeah, y'all have a great one. We'll see you next time. Take care. Good now.
Goodbye.